Hello students. So welcome to one more session of personality development classes. So in today's class, we'll be continuing our discussion about perception process. So we have in our last class, we have discussed about what is perception, what are the steps involved. So today we'll go into the details of the four steps or that is sensation, selection, organization, and translation. So we'll talk about firstly. So we have discussed about the brief meaning about how procession happens. So there is an external or internal stimulus on which we select the data, organize it and store it in our memory, and then give a meaning to it so that we understand what has happened or what is caused. Okay, so we have two types of stimulus, external and internal. So how are we going to select that stimulus? So external factors include nature, location, size, contrast, movement, repetition, and similar. So based on what type of the product is, what is the quality of the product or what is the quality of that object? Is it bright? Is it low? It's how good or bad, attractive it is. That will depend on while we see that or will not see it. Then the location, how far or near it is, how big or small it is. Okay, bigger objects are being noticed better than smaller object. Nearer objects are noticed better than farther objects. Then contrast. So is the object camouflaged with its background or it is standing out in contrast to its background? So with the combination is like dark and light. So based on that also we'll remind. If it is camouflaged, we will not notice it. Then whether the object is moving or stationary. A moving object is noticed better than a stagnant stationary object. Then whether that same thing you are seeing it only once or repeatedly that thing is happening around. So repetitive incidents or transactions or objects are remembered better than those objects which are seen or dealt with once in a while. Then similar things will cope up with your memory faster than rare things. Then internal factors, it includes learning, needs, age, and interest. So based on our age, a toddler will be fascinated with, say, toys, sweets, and such things of its interest. A teenager and a young adult will be more interested in bikes, the other gender, gadgets, and so on. Then it also depends, and the elder generation will have its own likings and dislikings. Then the needs, what I need at the right time. So think you are thinking of buying a car, you will be noticing more of the cars around you or bikes around you. So what you want at that moment, you will be seeing that thing only everywhere because you are so keen in that product or to get that, you will only feel that everywhere the same thing is there. Knowingly, unknowingly, we will searching the similar kind of products. Then learning, as we learn more and more about something, we notice it better, and our concept or the way of looking at it increases. When you are ignorant about something, we don't notice it or we are not curious about knowing it. Then how do we organize our whatever we see? So for this, we need figure background. So means what is in contrast with it, or the same thing, what is a story behind it or a small incident. So there is a small story and incident moving around that, say, event or transaction or object. We will try to give it a framework in a better way and we remember it in a better way so that we organize it well. Then we have a concept called as perceptual grouping. So perceptual grouping means we are going to group whatever we see based on certain things. So the things may be how similar or dissimilar that pattern is. So similar products we will learn in a better way. We'll remember it in a better way than dissimilar products. Then the next thing here is proximity. The closer we are to that event or transaction, we try to organize it in a better way. Then continuity and closure. Continuity means if the event is happening in a continuous repetitive matter, we will learn it in a better way than non-continuous or the things which are seen rarely. Then one more property is there which is called as closure. So closure means we have this property even in mathematics, but here it is a bit different. So closure means we try to remember similar things. Say, say for example, there is a figure which looks similar to the letter M. Okay, so it is not exactly M, but we are trying to make, say you see something similar object, whichever the object is nearer to that concept, we try to attach it. Or say for example, you see somebody and you are asked to give a description. So how that person looks like. So you try to analyze yourself, okay, this person looks like a person, maybe a particular celebrity or maybe some of your cousins. So you're trying to make are nearest to something like that. He may or she may not be exactly the same, but there is some nearness, some similarity. Okay, so we now try to connect. Say, for example, many of us, maybe if you go in a quiet place, sitting around, there is quiet breeze. Some of them have that habit of looking to the sky and seeing the clouds. So the clouds, with our imagination, we say this is looking like a rabbit or something like that. So we are giving a nearness to objects. So that concept is called as closure. Why do we do this? So that we can remember it better. Okay, something very distinct you can't recall. Say you're using very rare words while you're speaking, so you don't remember or you don't get the meaning of it very easily. But when you connect it with something which you have seen or which is similar to some other thing, then we remember it in a better way. Okay, so why are we organizing our whatever we see? So that we can analyze, understand, or remember, or grasp it in a better way. So similar events, events or objects which are near, which are in close contact with some, we can remember that in a very better way. Then the last part here is called as interpreting. Interpreting means you're trying to give a meaning to whatever you see. So you see something, it has created consciousness, then you try to grasp it and organize it in your memory and try to connect it with some past event so that you can interpret it. Interpret means you can have an meaning of it. So for the interpretation may be these four kinds. We can say attribution. So attribution means you are trying to observe a behavior, attempt whether what in whichever way I'm behaving, it is because of a memory within me, or maybe something has caused. Say for example, you get angry, okay, for some event is there and you get angry. So you are trying to attribute what is the cause of my anger. Is it because I was hurt physically, mentally, whether it is caused by an external person, or maybe I am angry or sad because remember something. So attribution means you're trying to relate what is the cause of that event, why your behavior or the perception is like this. It is because maybe something internal or something external. Okay, or it is my fault, something went wrong and so am I angry, or somebody else's fault, so am I angry. So you are trying to analyze what is the root cause of your behavior. Next, stereotyping. You must have heard this word, stereotyping. Stereotyping means judging some word based on one's perception of the group to which it belongs. Okay, so we try to generalize. Say, for example, there is in the industry, in the corporate world, there is a constant stereotyping about, like, or even at home, when you talk about gender stereotyping. So girls are being considered as good for a particular kind of job, say like, for example, teachers, nurses, doctors. Okay, so boys, when you talk about, they are talked about something rough and tough, say for example, army, marketing skills, okay, or technically on the site. But when you talk about girls, we say only, very something, some those jobs which need love, care, attention, which is about charm and good looks. So those jobs we think about it is for girls, but it is not always true. Both the genders can do everything. Okay. So when you talk about home, cooking means girls. No, it's not like that. We have world's best chef, those are males. So this is called a gender stereotyping. So you're judging people based on perception of a group. Okay, so you're trying to generalize them. Okay, sis, she can't do or he can't do this particular job. Okay, so you're trying to put a tag on a particular community, or maybe even there is a community stereotyping also, or maybe religion stereotyping also. Like, for example, this community people are good or this community people are bad. So this is the way we stereotype, because that particular that person or that group belongs to a particular community. So we feel because we had a bad experience there or maybe something good experience there, so we are trying to generalize it. That is called as stereotyping. Now, why this is happening? Because of our past experience, past memory, or we have seen something like that, or people have been talking about it. Okay, so that is called as stereotyping. The next one is halo effect. Halo effect means because of a particular character of an individual, we are trying to generalize him. Say, for example, a person is short-tempered. Okay, so what do you feel? He's short-tempered means you feel like that person is always in quarrel. You can't talk to him, you can't make him a friend. Okay, so that means that one bad quality, you're trying to blacklist that person totally. Okay, so you're making an halo effect. Now, what is halo effect? Say, for example, it is that goggle which you're wearing and you're feeling that it is total darkness everywhere. Okay, so inside the house also, if you wear a goggle or sunglasses, you will not see clarity. So halo effect means you're having a blur image about one person because of one particular character. Okay, so we have a saying in Hindi that sawan ke andhe ko sab kuch hara lagta hai, or in Kannada we say kamale kannige ella jagatte haldi. So this is called as an halo effect. So you are trying to generalize impression because one particular character of that person is you don't like it. Okay, so if somebody is very silent, doesn't talk much, is not very outgoing, the general statement what we say about that person is he is not friendly, khadus. But do we know that person? Maybe that person doesn't pull out or hang out so very easily. That person needs time. He may be the best person in the world, but you are just generalizing because that person is not talking much. Okay, so so that is a general mistakes we make in judging people or making friends. Okay, first glance you have some perception and you go on with it without going deep. So maybe time later you come to know the true character of that person. Okay, so that is halo effect. Then projection. Now projection is what? Okay, I am okay, you are okay, something like that. You feel that you are good. So similarly, or you like a particular thing. So everybody will like the same thing. That is called as projection. Say, for example, you like a particular flavor of ice cream. So you're hanging out with your friends, and without asking them, you assume that that person will also like the same flavor and you buy for it. So you're trying to project your own behavior, your own characteristics to the other person. Okay, so this is how perception shapes in. Okay, you may stereotype, you may have a halo effect, you may attribute to anything happens. Mostly we don't attribute anything happens internally. So if something goes wrong, we say the situation was wrong, the environment was wrong, or some other person created a mistake. We never take the responsibility of it on ourselves. Okay, we have that concept called as national I, Angan Teda, something like that. So attribution, normally very less we attribute any mistake or behavior on ourselves. We try to pose it to some external stimulus only. Okay, so if anything wrong about this, so perception can create blunders, can create chaos, can create conflict if it is not right. Okay, if you have an halo effect, if you are stereotyping or you're just projecting, mujhe ye acha lagta hai, so I like it. No, if you do that, this is a wrong perception. So the perception is all about how we are seeing the things, how we are reacting and analyzing the things. So this is these are the different process in perception. So this is all about perception and its process. I hope you have understood. Please feel free to raise your queries. So that's all for today. Have a good day. Bye.